Okay, solve the equation for x. These are different than last week. Okay, you make a table. Okay, the inside of the absolute value function, x plus 2, you put that on both sides of your table. Now you replace your absolute value function with d. Now d is going to have a 5 in front of it, okay, and also put a times dot there, okay. If it's right in front of it, you put a times dot, so it's going to be 5 times d equals 25, okay. Now you solve for d like you'd solve for any other variable. D actually has an operation to it, so at times, so I need to divide by 5, okay. Now remember, d needs to equal positive, so to be a distance of 5 from 0, you can be at 5 or negative 5. Remember, if d is equal to a negative number, it's no solution, okay? Alright, so you got a plus 2. There's no multiplying or dividing. You just minus 2, and 5 minus 2 is 3. And then do the same thing. But now it's, guys, the other answer is not negative 3, okay? Negative 5 minus 2 is negative 7. Those are your two answers. You can get negatives for the variable inside, just the function can't equal a negative. Okay, next one, the absolute value of negative 2x plus 1, and then after the function is over, plus 3 equals 17. So within the absolute value, we have the expression negative 2x plus 1. Take out your absolute value function, replace it with d. So you have a d, no multiplying number, and then plus 3 equals 17. So you minus 3, and d equals 14. It's positive, so we continue. So you could be at 14 or negative 14. So you have two operations on this side with dx, a times 2 and a plus 1. So you take out the plus 1 by minus 1. 14 minus 1 is 13. Then I divide each side by negative 2. And 13 divided by negative 2 is negative 6.5. The other answer is not positive 6.5. Stop doing that, okay? Minus 1, negative 2 times x. Now it's negative 14. Back 1 would be negative 15. You divide by negative 2. And x equals 7.5. Okay, next problem, 3, and then the absolute value function contains 5y minus 7, then after the function minus 6 equals 24. I don't like minuses, so plus negative, okay. Okay, so within the absolute value function we have 5y minus 7. Now you replace the function with d. There's it. So it's going to be 3 times d plus the negative 6 equals 24. So again, I'm just replacing that function with d. Now, you got two operations with d. You got a times and then a plus negative 6. So take out your negative 6 by adding 6, and that takes you to 30. And then you divide each side by 3. And the d, the absolute value function, equals 10. So that's positive, so you could be at 10 or negative 10 to have a distance of 10 from 0. Two operations, you got times and then plus negative 2. So take out the 7, or negative 7, take out the 7 by adding it. 10 plus 7 is 17, then you divide by 5. 3.4, okay. The other answer is not negative 3.4. Okay, so add 7. Negative 10 plus 7 is negative 3. Again, you can see there's no way this can be negative 3.4. Okay, it's going to be negative 0.6. Okay, where we are. Okay, next one. Within the absolute value function, we have 2d. Or actually, switch that to a 2b. Because I'm going to use d for something else. 2b. 2b. Okay, so remember d, I took that out because d is what we replaced the absolute value function with. So we have d, there's no multiplier, and then add 3 equals 1. So you minus 3. D's negative, so that's a no solution. I don't go to the table then. Okay. Cross it out, don't need it. Okay, our next problem, negative 3, absolute value function of x plus 4 minus 2 equals 16. So within the absolute value function, we have x plus 4. Replace the absolute value function with d. So we have negative 3 times d minus 2, or plus negative 2, equals 16. Now you have to solve for the d this time. Okay, so you add 2 to each side, and that's 18. Divide by negative 3 on each side, and that's negative 6. Okay, absolute value function can't equal a negative, so that's a no solution. Okay, 4 times the absolute value function of x minus 4 plus 7 equals 27. Another thing, you can't distribute. It's not a parentheses. Don't be doing this, okay? It's not a parentheses. It's a function. So you get x minus 4. Replace that with d, so you have 4 multiplied by d plus the 7 equals 27. Okay, now d's got some operations. It's got a times and a plus, so you get rid of the plus first. So 20. And then you get rid of the divide by 4, multiply by 4 by dividing by 4. So d equals 5. So 5 works. I could be at 5 or negative 5. Okay. Add 4 to both sides, you get 9. There is no multiplication with the x, okay, or division. So plus 4, plus 4. Negative 5 plus 4 is negative 1. So stop just automatically putting the other side of the answer. Okay. Okay, last two. 5 times the absolute value of x equals 20. So in the absolute value function, we just have x. So once I'm over here, I'll have it because x doesn't have any operations with it. Now we need to replace this with d. So it's 5 times d equals 20. So we just have the multiplication operation, so we just go divide by 5, and that's 4. So we could be at 4 or negative 4, and that's my answers, because x doesn't have any operations on its side that we have to undo. Okay, last problem. Within the absolute value function, we have 3x plus 6. Okay, now replace your entire absolute function with d. Remember, this is times here. So you have negative 2 times d. Then after the absolute value, we have plus 6 equals negative 66. So you got a times and a plus. So you take out the plus. That's negative 72. Negative 66 minus 6. And then you divide each side by negative 2. And that's positive 36. So d is equal to a positive, so we put 36, negative 36. Okay, so the operators, you got times and plus. So you take out your plus. 36 minus 6 is 30. And then divide by 3. and x equals 10. So x could have a value of 10 inside. Minus 6, negative 36 minus 6 is negative 42. Then I divide each side by 3. Negative 42 divided by 3 is negative 14. Okay, that's it. Okay.